very fascinating thing about the Rosh that the Rosh brings down in his Shulis. It's in Klal Esrim Ve'echot. I have to tell you one thing, that the Rosh was a very strong proponent in terms of encouraging people to make an Eruv. Very strong. And in areas where there was a Jewish community, right, in that Jewish community, to facilitate that people should be able to carry from the houses into the street, that there should be an Eruv. It's not just because to make it easier for people, but also to avoid people becoming nichshol. Because when there's no Eruv, right, always situations happens, the person forgets, and he carries something out from the house onto the street, and so on and so forth. So, in order to remove a nichshol, and also for the convenience of Shabbos and so on, so the Rosh was very strong about making an Eruv. It appears that if you go through this particular tshuva, we'll do a few lines of it, that there was somebody, it appears there was another Gadol at the same time, was very strong in opposing of making an Eruv. He was very much against it. And I have to show you the Lashon of the Rosh, how the Rosh really attacks him for that. Very strongly, and the Rosh does not spare any words in condemning that person who's trying to oppose the Eruv in his town. Mind you, not even where the Rosh was living. But in his town, since the Zodan Gadol might have been the Rav of that town, who had influence in that town, and he restricted them from making an Eruv. So the Rosh writes as follows. It seems that Rosh already had warned them, and still it did not help. So the Rosh goes on and he says, Al shloirotzo loshuv mi'ivaltoi. The fact that you do not want to, he says, retract, he says, from what you're doing evil. From the fact that you don't want to retract the inyan ha'eruv, Athoyu, says the Rosh. Rabbi Yankib Moshe of Valencia. Valencia is, in Spain. Kvad kasapti lecha, I already wrote to you. Al inyan ha'eruv, shenahagu b'chol gol Yisrael. It is something that's already accepted all over. All over where you find Jewish people living. Lahatir mevoyisayim, to allow through the Eruv, right? To enable people to carry B'tzuras HaPesach by making what's called the Tzuras HaPesach. The Eruv is typically where you have a pole on one side and a pole on the other side. You can have a wire on top that's the tzur of the door. Right? That's the appearance of the door. And that halachically is considered like an enclosure. That's how you make the Eruv. Right? So on, no matter what the size of the area is. And this has been accepted. Even though it's not a physical fence. It's not a physical fence. What's called the Tzuras HaPesach. Pole on one side and pole on the other side. But now this has been accepted. But ato osarto, and you assered it. He says, to your kehillah. So now it appears that this person wrote certain rayas, in other words, he based it on something. He said, Hamachocha. So he wrote certain rayas to the Rosh, why it should not be acceptable of making an Eruv. So the Rosh writes, and you wrote me your rayas, your proofs, and I already told you, there's no meaning to what you wrote. All your rayas are meaningless. Not only that, and I warned you, that you should retract, and now you should go back and make an announcement to your kehillah, they should fix and correct, their streets, as was always customary based upon Gedolim. Says the Rosh, that is something I already warned you. And what about now? And now I'm being told that you still didn't change your mind. So he says to the Rosh, Hu Gadli, it was told to me, you're still stubborn in your ways. You're still liar, you're still rebellious, you're still stubborn. Now as a result, again, by refusing to allow an Eruv, you're being machshul, you're pushing, you're enabling people by mistake to do things which is still Shabbos by carrying a Shabbos without the Eruv. Goyzer alecha ani. So therefore he says, I'm goyzer upon you and I'm decreeing. I'm going to send you the following letter with witnesses, like to make sure that you got it, like a registered letter. I'm going to send you a letter that says with witnesses. That's going to make sure that you got it. And this is what's going to be said. He says, I'm goyzer on you. He says, I'm warning you. He says, I'm going to write up the ksav, says, with witnesses. And in the ksav is going to be my last warning to you. That you should fix up the streets, right? I'm giving you 2 weeks. I'm giving you 2 weeks. Now, if you get the letter, you have 2 weeks to fix up, make sure that they make an Eruv. In other words, after you see the letter. And if you don't repair, you don't correct the streets by making an Eruv, I put you in the Chaim. I put you in Chaim, says Rosh. I will put you in Chaim. And know what else? And this is mind-boggling. Put on your seatbelt, Rabbi Sai. And now the Rosh says further. I can put you in Chaim, he says. If you would have been at the time when we had Sanhedrin, he would kill you. it's a mind-boggling thing the Rosh is writing here. It be the time of Senren Hoy Memisa Motzchot. Why? Because you're uprooting, says you're uprooting what's written in the Gemara, in the Talmud, Chassidim Ravashi, and you're arguing against all the Gedolim that were until Adiyah Mazeh. A person who has the audacity, he says, to argue and disagree with all the great sages, going back from the time of the Gemara, he says, till today, he says, this is what would have happened. If I warn you again, he says, retract, and do not abandon, he says, the halachas of Moshe Rabbeinu, and he signs Osher ben Harav Yechiv. This is, you have here a leader, you have here the koyach of a manik, he says what has to be said. And there's another area you see, that for some reason it's led to think that the Rosh was always that somebody's on the warpath. That was not the Rosh. It was somebody who was a tremendous, as a Rishon would be, you can imagine. At the time was to do chesed, he was the ultimate Baal chesed. And he was a leader in each and every way. But when the time to take a stand, the Rosh was there very, very quickly to take a stand.